welcome, and let's talk about how you made your journey to Greece. How did this all come about? Give us an insight.
Well, I was part of TFC's program at the age of 17, training with actually Jason Bent, who now has the second team, and I decided to pursue a collegiate degree. I went to the States on a scholarship, completed 4 years there, finished, and went back to TFC as part of the college team that they had. Unfortunately, things there didn't go too well when the college program disappeared and they changed the curriculum. I was kind of stuck in the middle of nowhere. I now did not have TFC, and as you know, in Canada, for a 22-year-old at the time, there isn't too much that you could do. And I managed to find a manager in the United States, Greek, who was able to help me. My dream, obviously, is to pursue a professional career. He gave me the opportunity to go to Greece. I left this summer, and in August, it was with a second division club called Fokikos, was the trial. Things did not go as well there. I personally did well, but the way the team was, I did not like anything about it. You know, I heard terrible things about the club after being there for a couple of days, and that kind of faded out. Then I was stuck in the middle of nowhere again. I'm in Greece, and I now have nowhere to go. Thankfully, last second, right before the transfer window closed, I was able to sign with a local team, actually of the 4th division, which at first I did not want to do, but that was my only option. Thankfully, they had a connection with the 2nd division club, Kallithea. So the deal was play 3 months from September till Christmas in that 4th division, show well, and then you can sign with Kallithea. That is what happened, and in Christmas, I was fortunate enough to sign with Kallithea F.C.
And now let's talk about this. You made your debut with Kallithea against the world-famous club AEK Athens at the Olympic Stadium. That has to be something unbelievable. I know even as a young man, going way back many years, how strong this club is and the history and the heritage they have. Talk about going onto the field there as a substitute, playing with your club against this club that you, I'm pretty sure, as a youngster, watched as well.
Actually, it's funny you say that. As a kid, I would watch every Sunday with my father, AEK Athens. They were my club growing up as a kid. So for me, it was an experience that I can honestly say I will never forget for the rest of my life. And as a footballer, that is the top. That is absolutely the top. I came in as a sub in the 64th minute, and it was just incredible, you know. I gave it my all, of course, but it's something that I will never forget. You cannot describe it. It is unexplainable. They're a huge club. The supporters were there, are yelling and chanting in full force, and actually I knew what they were chanting inside of me. That was kind of what was going on through my mind and being on the bench. But going in, I had my mind set on helping out the team, and that was something that is a footballer's dream. It is a footballer's dream, and especially for me being Greek, growing up with the Greek culture, knowing the Greek game, that being my team as a kid, it was something that, like I said, is just unforgettable, unbelievable.
James, let's go back and talk about the first time you arrived there with your team there and knowing that you signed and you're ready to play for them. How hard was it knowing that they knew you're a Canadian kid coming here to Greece who's had much success in the World Cup recently, in Euros, developing, nurturing players? For a Canadian kid like yourself, to get the respect from your teammates, obviously when they think of Canada, they think of hockey, snow, they don't think of soccer players. How did you have to gain their respect to show them, hey, I'm here, I'm at your level, I'm here to compete?
Absolutely, you make a good point. You know, when they think about a Canadian kid, it's not necessarily a good thing in terms of football. For me, thankfully, I speak Greek, and it wasn't that difficult. As I spoke Greek initially with the guys, and thankfully they were incredible teammates. You know, they welcomed me with open arms. However, in the football perspective, it was difficult at first because they kind of think of you as a nobody. My first session, I remember very vividly, my first session with the team, we played for half an hour a inter-squad match. And in that 30 minutes, I went in like it was death. You know, tackles left and right, giving it 100% like you have to do. And that's how you earn the respect. You know, it's on the soccer field, giving it 100% and showing that you are there and you mean business.
James, you played in the NCAA. Right now, the NCAA here in North America has been a major feeder system for MLS and the NESL. Let's go back to the University of Hartford, where you had your career there, not only on the field, but off the field. Give us an understanding of what a wonderful experience that must have been for you.
You know, that was 4 years that I will never forget for the rest of my life. Before going to the States, I was really iffy about it, going for a scholarship, because I was part of the TFC setup. And I wanted to pursue my professional career at that time when I was 17 years old at TFC. And I was very close to signing with the first team. Going there, though, I will never regret it, and I think it's for the best because now I have a degree that no one can take away from me. And that is 4 years, like a lot of people say, the best 4 years of your life, where you get to enjoy time with your friends, you study, you earn your degree, and you get the soccer out of it. And the quality is very good. The quality in the United States is very good. And you see now players like, you know, Kyle Lauren, who was killing it at UConn and now is in the MLS and national team. And you see many players making that jump.
So in your mind...
Kyle Becker's another one.
Absolutely. Yep. In your mind, James, as a Canadian kid growing up, now you're in second division in Greece and obviously, hopefully get to the first division or maybe get here to MLS. In your mind, what is the key to success? What are the ingredients in this great cake that we're going to build for this Canadian kid that you have now learned that you wish you could do differently in the past?
Well, I think that a lot of it is mentality for a Canadian player. You know, a lot of the times we are mentally weak. For me, I thought at one point that my career was over, that I wasn't going to be a professional footballer. But you have to believe in your ability. That is absolutely key, because soccer is a mental game. And if you don't believe in yourself and if you don't have confidence, you've already lost. You know, so that was one thing. In terms of actual footballing, you see there is a difference between the European game and the Canadian game. For me, I actually played in a friendly match with Panathinaikos, which was a week after AEK Athens, and I was playing with guys that have played in the World Cup, national team, Premier League, and you see the differences. For me, the biggest was movement off the ball. You see guys constantly moving off the ball, but not moving without knowing what they were going to do. They knew exactly where they were going and at the right timing. Not only that, they play simple, they play fast, and it's a lot of training over the years. And that is something that we have lacked in Canada, is a proper development, because, you know, when I was 13 years old, we went to Brazil with the provincial team, played against Cruzeiro. We did very well there, competed with them. When I was 16 and 17 at the Dallas Cup with Toronto, you know, we held our own with Manchester City, Tigres, and AC Milan. You know, but after that 16, 17, you don't see much development from the Canadian players. I would even throw it at 15, 16, where it kind of stops.
And that's a great point, James. A great point, James. Sorry to interrupt, but that's what I've always said for the last number of years, 10, 12 years. I'm a parent of two boys, and I see a major dip after the age of 17 with Canadian players. And I'll never forget speaking to some high prestigious coaches from Italy that came over here in the last number of years. I remember speaking to Gennaro Gattuso, former World Cup winner with Italy, and he watched some Canadian kids. And the word that sticks out to me that I'll never forget is simply this, and I want to get your thoughts on this, James, is Canadian kids, when they get in that box to finish, or even in that midfield, there's no imagination. They're too rigid. They're too tight. They're not fluid. Do you notice that when you go to Greece, that guys are more relaxed, more fluid, more creative, and the Canadian kid is still robotic?
Absolutely. You know, when we train here and now this is second division, which is a great level, but this is second division Greece. Imagine now first division Spain and Italy. Here in second division Greece, we're training every day, and at the end of training, we do finishing. And in that finishing, you don't see them miss often. It is very rare that you're going to see them miss. If they do miss, it's very close, you know. So they're very relaxed, the strikers, and not only the strikers, midfielders, whoever's in the box, because they have that repetition over how many years. They know exactly what they're going to do, so they're relaxed and confident. You have now the majority of Canadian players who don't have that experience and haven't gotten that repetition. So when they get into a position like that in the box, they're not entirely sure what they're going to do, and that's difficult.
Let me ask you this, James. We really appreciate your time, but let me ask you this as we close it out. What's the end goal here for yourself personally? Is it to get to the division, the first division in Greece? Is it possibly to come back here to MLS, maybe NASL? Do you want the Benito Flora, Canada's men's national team coach, has a look at you? What is the end goal for you personally?
You know, definitely the Canadian national team is the main goal. I mean, every Canadian player wants to play for the men's national team. So that's something I'm hoping to get out of it. I was with the program at the age of 15 up to 17. At the age of 20, the Under-20 World Cup, I unfortunately had an injury, so that kind of set me back and I wasn't able to do that. But for the men's national team, that is the ultimate goal in terms of international football. In terms of club football, yeah, now I'm here in the second division, and for me, I consider it the beginning. I'm hoping that first division comes calling eventually, and possibly somewhere else in Europe, if not the MLS, because the MLS is, I truly believe, one of football's best-kept secrets. I really think that the MLS has improved so much and is going to keep improving to the point where it'll be able to rival Europe. I mean, it is truly improving drastically. So the MLS is always a great option as well, and you're playing in North America.
As we close it out, James, we never let a player that comes on our show leave without giving a tip to the youngsters out there. If they want to live a dream like you're living, playing professional soccer in Europe or in MLS or maybe NCAA, because a lot of kids would love to live your dream and playing in the NCAA. Give them a tip. What do they need to do to get to where you were at?
I think the number one tip is to believe in your ability. If you do believe in your ability and you're confident in your ability, you can get places where you never thought you could get, you know. And the other thing is to always listen to your coaches, train as much as you can. There's never enough you can do. And at that point, you know, you have to make sacrifices, and it should pay off in the end. Hopefully it pays off. For me, I truly did not believe at one point that it was going to work out, but I always believed in myself, and now it is paying off. I mean, it's just the beginning, like I said, but I'm hoping to continue. You know, I believed in my ability. I sacrificed a lot, and I worked extremely hard.
Well,
you know, so that is what I would give to young Canadians out there. You know, keep believing in their ability and train.
Outstanding, James. You got the heart of a lion. You got the passion that is unbelievable. We wish you nothing but success in Greece, and hopefully Benito Floro and an assistant coach, Rafael Carbajal, who I know quite well, has a look at some of your game footage, and hopefully one day soon you could represent Canada in the red uniform. It would be outstanding. James, continue success, and we'll reconnect in a couple months' time again, my friend, to see how you're doing.
Absolutely, Anthony. Thank you so much for having me. Take care.